Hello, Dale from Hi-Fi. The One Step series audiophile recordings from Mobile Fidelity, Analogue Productions, and Craft Recordings have gotten lots of reviews and lots of opinions online and on here on YouTube. But what about the packaging? If you're an audiophile and vinyl lover, I'm sure you are at least familiar with the One Step records that are out there from the audiophile labels. Mobile Fidelity has a One Step. They've released quite a few of those over the last few years. Analogue Productions has a UHQR One Step Clarity vinyl. And now Craft Records has these small batch releases and limited numbers, which is a One Step. And the One Step, you can read about it, but it's some of the steps between the lacquer and the plating, and they got the mother-daughter plating, whatever, is eliminated. So you're closer to the source, which would be the lacquer or the master tape. So lots of reviews out there, but I'm not going to review the sound quality and the various albums. I'm going to review the actual packaging of these three major one-step providers. Let's start off with the Mobile Fidelity One Step. This is an Eagles one I have. I have quite a few One Steps. They're okay. The only big thing I'm not big on many One Steps are the 45 RPM. I'm just kind of over getting up every 12 minutes. And I don't think the sound quality is that big of a difference. Maybe a little louder because, there's more room for to boost up the volume. But let's look at this. So this is a typical One Step. Mobile Fidelity is going to start doing some 33 RPM One Steps here in the near future, I believe. So you get this, and you open the box, and the first thing you're greeted with was a piece of foam. Then this little chart that explains the one-step process, and you can look at this online if you're not familiar with it. I saved the hype sticker. Then it comes with like a paper print, cardboard print of the actual cover and the back cover. And then each disc, now this is a two record 45 RPM set, has its own little cover here. And it's got the picture of the album on the front, and then it's got the song selection for that side on the back. And then within this, you have another protective cardboard sleeve, and then you have your MoFi master audiophile record sleeves, and then here you have the record. And it's pretty typical. But this thing, it is, if you want to get out and listen to this, it's kind of a chore. You can leave the cardboard insert in this sleeve here. And then the next record, you kind of have to dig in there or just tilt it forward. Same thing. And here's something about MoFi I've noticed on some of my One Steps. See if you can see this. Can you see that right there? Those little seam rips. I have no idea why they're there. It has to be something at the factory because there's no way they're bouncing around here. But both of the covers here have seam rips. I've got some others with some seam rips and various things. And then you got another piece of this foam. So this is the MoFi. So, it's kind of a chore to go in here, in my opinion, and to get these out. But like I said, this is not, these are probably not records you're going to just throw on. You'd probably, if you're doing something in the background at the house or something, you'd probably just stream the record. But, again, it's, a little tedious. Now the next one here, let's look at the Craft Records One Step. Now this is a nice, this is about $20 or $15 cheaper. I like this. It's got a nice glossy picture of the cover that kind of sticks out. It's stuck onto this thing. It's embossed. It's got the limited number edition embossed. It's not handwritten on a sticker or nothing like that. And everything is in this nice, thin, compact cover. And you have this ribbon where you pull the cover out, or pull the record out. And then inside you have a little information pamphlet that shows you a picture of the master tape and the process. They talk about the record. There's some technical information on the back. And then you got the record, and it just then from here on, it's like a regular record you'd buy at a record store. And it's got a poly sleeve, and it's got a nice record. And the album of this is probably no different than whatever record if they have a regular version. I mean, the cover looks like it's looks like the same. There's nothing that says it's a one step, and that's what you got. But really, that's all you need. The tricky thing with this, which I do like this because you don't have a lot of stuff. Tricky thing with this is getting the record back in. Make sure you line it with this ribbon, because if you don't, the ribbon will sink down in there. I've done it a couple times. And then this pamphlet can be kind of a bear to get in there with the album, but you have to put it in there, let it fall in, and then make sure there's enough of the ribbon that hangs out. There's a little knot here, so there should be no issues. So I like this design. It's simple. You can actually put this with the rest of your records. You don't have to have a special shelf for it or anything. So I really like this. Now let's talk about the Acoustic Sounds UHQR. Now I'm a big fan of Acoustic Sounds and Analogue Productions. One thing I like about Chad Kasem and the way he runs his business, he's a good businessman, but he produces products not from a bean counter accounting standpoint, but from an actual consumer music fan, record collector standpoint, because that's what he was and still is. And he knows, easier to get the record, put it on, the better it is. And he's done a nice job with these UHQRs. This is the Hendrix, and I haven't actually played this yet. I haven't had time. But you got your nice little end cap here. It's got a little wood grain on it, and it comes out, and everything's in this one inner box. And the thing I like about this, even though you have a pamphlet, talks about the album, you've got an Acoustic Sounds, which they put in all their albums, even if it's not one step, the current catalog, and the technical information of UHQR and one steps, and they got pictures of the pressing plants and the mastering. It's pretty nifty. And then you got the cover. And this is a real nice cover. This is like something you would see on the Acoustic Sound series, jazz labels. And this one's gatefold. It's got the artwork. It's glossy, really high quality. And they ship this, at least mine anyway, with the record and the audiophile sleeve separate from the cover. And this record's clear, transparent, because it's that Clarity vinyl. And it comes with this big sleeve. Well, if you don't want to mess with the box, you don't want to put the lock box, display it on some shelf or put it away. You can actually put all this right in the cover. And you got a protective sleeve that fits the cover. Fits it perfect, actually. Just right. It's not too snug. And you can just set this, put it right up there with the rest of your records. Again, I'll put it on now, but put the rest of your records, and you can see the title on the side and all that. And it's really nice. Also, if you don't do that, let me put this back the way I had it. So I think they did a wonderful job with this packaging, and at least made it's still kind of special, premium, because you got the nice box, but it's also functional where you can actually get the record out without having to take every aspect of the box apart. And also, I tell you what about Acoustic Sounds, this is the box that's shipped. So, their boxes, they got the built-in handle, and you got the bubble wrap, and I always save these boxes. And in fact, if you don't worry about the covers much, you can store the box away and just keep the record on your record shelf. So they really do a great job. This is probably the best packaging of all these premium one steps. The Craft Records is probably next. I'm not a big fan of the MoFi packaging. You got to take it's so 1980s, 90s CD box set type. It's so, like the old back in the 70s, Reader's Digest, get a big box set of what have you records, and it was kind of like that. It's a nice package. It's nice records, but I don't know. I just, the feeling of it looks like I can get a lot of fingerprints. This here, I got the Miles Davis version of this. That's my only other UHQR, and it's great. This just looks classy, very functional, very durable feeling, and you don't have a bunch of filler like foam inserts and things like this. This is really impressive too, for a little bit cheaper. And, this little ribbon's nice. To me, this is kind of over the top and kind of wasteful. The foam, I'm sorry. It's just, they need to redesign that. And they probably won't because, people buy these, even if they like the record or not, just to have the whole set. And they're probably not going to change it now. But that's my beef with the MoFi one steps. They're great records. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a bad sounding one. But, when it comes to it, to me, this is king of the hill. This thing, and some of the UHQRs are 45 RPM, and there's plenty of room to put the second album in there. And I don't know if all their albums are gatefolded, the ones they put in. So, but there's actually room there for another record if they had a 45 RPM version. But this is by far the best. So that's my thoughts on the one steps. I've never had. I think the quality control overall for Analogue Productions in acoustic sounds is a step above the rest. I've got quite a few one steps from MoFi, and you got the ripped covers, and some's got a bent corner. My Yes Fragile, it's got some clicking and popping. It's really bad. And, I contacted MoFi about it. Didn't really hear back. I'm just not going to mess with it. And I'm really kind of hesitant buying any more MoFis. I know they got the Van Halen's coming up, but the only one I would probably want would be the Van Halen one. And I may just seek out a used DCC Steve Hoffman mastered one. They pop up on the web from time to time, even sealed ones. So I'm kind of shying away from the one steps. There's a couple upcoming titles I may go for. But I tell you what, the acoustic sounds and these crafts are really, really high quality and very functional. So tell me what you think about box sets, these one steps in general, the quality. And also follow us on Instagram. I've been off Instagram a while. We had the holidays last week and it's just been really hectic. And put the comments, hit like, and hit subscribe. And until next week, have a great week.